Every morning you open your eyes, you're given more than a day. You're handed another chance to become the person you were meant to be. Not by luck, not by circumstances, but by the habits you choose to carry in your mind. You may not control everything around you, but you do control the thoughts you plant within you. And those thoughts, gratitude, integrity, courage, perseverance, purpose, hold the power to completely reshape your life. Today isn't just another sunrise, it's an invitation. An invitation to rise stronger, think deeper, and step into the life waiting for you to claim it. Gratitude transforms the entire landscape of your life, not because it changes your circumstances, but because it changes the way you see them. It is the quiet, deliberate choice to lift your eyes above what is missing and focus on what remains. It is the inner decision to let the smallest light outshine the greatest shadow. Gratitude is not a reaction. It is a posture of the heart. It is not born out of perfection or comfort, but out of awareness. Awareness that even in the midst of life's uncertainties, there are still gifts placed in your path. When you practice gratitude every day, you begin to recognize that blessings do not always look like bright skies or easy moments. Sometimes they come disguised as challenges that strengthen you, delays that redirect you, or losses that teach you what truly matters. Gratitude teaches you to see meaning where others see only misfortune. It opens your eyes to the quiet miracles around you, the breath in your lungs, the strength that keeps you standing, the people who walk beside you, the opportunities that still lie ahead. When your heart is tuned to gratitude, you begin to notice beauty in the ordinary and hope in the unexpected. Gratitude does not deny hardship. It does not pretend that pain isn't real. What gratitude does is keep hardship from consuming you. When difficulties rise up, gratitude anchors you. It reminds you of everything you've survived, everything you've learned, and everything that has carried you this far. Instead of drowning in what is wrong, gratitude lifts you toward what is still good. It becomes a shield against bitterness, a guard against despair, and a bridge toward resilience. The more you practice it, the stronger it becomes, and the stronger you become. There is a power in speaking gratitude out loud. Each day, when you wake, before the worries rush in and the world starts pulling you in every direction, you can pause and name the things you're thankful for. Not grand achievements or perfect circumstances, but simple things, the chance to try again, the wisdom gained from yesterday, the presence of hope, the promise of new beginnings. These small acknowledgments plant seeds in your mind that grow throughout the day. They shape your reactions, soften your frustrations, and steady your emotions. Gratitude shifts your mindset from scarcity to abundance, from complaint to appreciation, from anxiety to peace. Practicing gratitude also deepens your relationships. When you appreciate others, truly appreciate them, you begin to speak more kindly, listen more patiently, and love more intentionally. Gratitude opens your heart to seeing the good in people, even when they falter. It teaches you to value their presence more than their perfection. Whether it is a friend who encourages you, a family member who stands by you, or a stranger who shows unexpected kindness, gratitude allows you to receive those moments fully. It reminds you that life is woven together by the connections we hold and the love we give. And over time, gratitude becomes more than a habit. It becomes a way of living. It becomes the lens through which you see your past, the strength that sustains your present, and the light that guides your future. When you walk through each day with a grateful spirit, you carry a quiet power, a power that does not depend on circumstances, but on perspective. You begin to realize that gratitude is not simply something you practice, it is something you become. Integrity is the quiet truth you carry when no one is watching, the voice inside you that urges you to keep your word even when it costs you something. It is the steady commitment to do what is right, not because it is easy, convenient, or beneficial, but because it reflects who you are at your core. Integrity is not built in dramatic moments. It is shaped in countless unseen decisions, those small choices that over time reveal your character more clearly than any public achievement ever could. When you choose integrity, you choose to align your actions with your values, your words with your intentions, and your life with your principles. Integrity demands consistency. It asks you to be the same person in private as you appear to be in public. It calls you to resist the temptation of shortcuts, excuses, and the subtle bending of truth. The world around you will often invite compromise. There will be opportunities to take the easy road, to protect your image rather than your honesty, to win something temporary at the expense of something lasting. But each time you stand firm, each time you choose truth over convenience, you strengthen the foundation on which your character rests. And it is this foundation that carries you through every season of life. Integrity also requires courage. It means telling the truth when the truth is heavy. It means admitting when you're wrong instead of defending a lie. It means choosing humility over pride, responsibility over blame, authenticity over performance. There will be moments when integrity isolates you, moments when doing the right thing is costly. But the reward is deeper than approval or applause. The reward is peace, a quiet confidence that you have nothing to hide, nothing to fear, and nothing to regret. This peace cannot be bought. It is earned, one honest decision at a time. There is power in being someone people can trust. When you live with integrity, your words carry weight. People learn that you mean what you say, that you honor your commitments, that your character does not shift with convenience. Trust is one of the most precious qualities you can build, and integrity is its foundation. Relationships deepen when trust is present. Opportunities open when trust is established. Respect grows when trust is evident. Integrity allows you to become someone whose presence brings reliability, stability, and confidence to others. Integrity also guides you inwardly. It sharpens your conscience, teaching you to recognize the quiet discomfort that comes when your actions misalign with your beliefs. It strengthens your self-respect, reminding you that you are responsible for the standard you live by. When you choose integrity, you refuse to betray the person you know you are meant to be. You learn to hold yourself accountable in private so you can stand tall in public. You understand that the greatest victories are not achievements others see, but the silent battles you win within. And as you practice integrity, it influences every choice you make. It affects how you speak to people, how you handle your work, how you respond to temptation, how you navigate conflict, and how you face challenges. Integrity becomes the compass that keeps you from drifting, the anchor that holds you steady in moments of pressure, the light that leads you when the path is unclear. It becomes the standard you measure your life by, the discipline that shapes your character, and the legacy you leave behind. In the end, integrity is not a single act, but a lifestyle. It is the daily decision to be honest, the daily commitment to be responsible, and the daily dedication to be true to your values. It is the unwavering promise you make to yourself to live with honor, to speak with truth, and to walk with character, whether the world is watching or not. Courage is not the absence of fear. It is the quiet decision to move forward even when fear stands in your way. Every person feels fear, fear of failure, fear of rejection, fear of uncertainty, fear of loss. What sets courageous people apart is not that they avoid these feelings, but that they refuse to let those feelings define them. Courage whispers to you in the moments when doubt is loudest. It is the inner strength that rises when everything in you wants to retreat. It is the decision to act, not because you feel strong, but because you know the step must be taken. Many people wait for courage to arrive as a feeling, imagining that one day they will suddenly wake up fearless and ready. But courage rarely comes that way. It grows only through action. When you take a step while your heart is trembling, you strengthen the muscles of bravery. When you face something you want to run from, you weaken the power that fear has over your life. Every courageous action, no matter how small, becomes a brick in the foundation of confidence. You start to understand that fear cannot stop you unless you allow it to. The more you walk through fear, the less control it holds over your mind. Courage also teaches you to embrace discomfort. Growth does not happen in the comfort zone. It happens in the space where uncertainty meets determination. You discover things about yourself only when you challenge yourself. You uncover abilities you didn't know you had when you step into situations that stretch your limits. Fear tries to convince you that uncertainty is a warning, but courage reveals that uncertainty is an invitation to learn, to grow, and to rise. When you push through the discomfort, you come out stronger than you were before. There will be moments when your courage will feel tested, moments when you face setbacks, criticism, or failure. But courage is not about avoiding failure. It is about refusing to stay down when failure comes. Every person who has achieved anything meaningful has walked through disappointment. They have felt the sting of defeat. What sets them apart is that they did not let those moments define them. Courage tells you that failure is not the end. It is a teacher. It is a step in the process, not a stop in the journey. When you learn to rise after falling, fear loses one of its greatest weapons, the threat of defeat. Courage also shows up in vulnerability. It takes bravery to be honest about your weaknesses, to admit when you need help, to open your heart knowing it may get hurt. Pretending to be invincible is not strength. It is avoidance. True courage is found in authenticity, in the willingness to be real, to be imperfect, and to grow. When you live honestly, you give others permission to do the same. You create deeper connections, stronger relationships, and a more grounded sense of self. Sometimes courage looks dramatic, standing up to injustice, taking big risks, or stepping into the unknown. But often it is much quieter. It is choosing to show up on a hard day. It is speaking kindly when you feel frustrated. It is trying again when everything in you wants to quit. It is making decisions based on values rather than fears. These quiet acts of courage shape your character far more than any single bold moment ever could. Over time, courage becomes a way of living. It becomes the force that steadies you when life feels uncertain, the strength that carries you when fear tries to paralyze you, and the guide that leads you toward a future that is bigger than your doubts. When you choose courage, you choose growth. You choose possibility. You choose to become the person you are meant to be, not by avoiding fear, but by walking through it with determination and faith. Perseverance is the quiet, steady force that carries you forward when enthusiasm fades, when motivation weakens, and when the path feels longer than you expected. It is the inner resolve to keep going even when results are slow, obstacles are many, and doubt whispers that you should give up. Perseverance is not glamorous. It is not loud or dramatic. Most of the time it looks like ordinary effort repeated day after day. But hidden within that consistency is a power stronger than talent, luck, or perfect conditions, the power to transform potential into reality. Every meaningful journey requires perseverance. No dream unfolds without resistance. No goal is reached without difficulty. You will face setbacks. You will encounter delays. You will have days when progress feels invisible. Perseverance teaches you that slow progress is still progress and that the only true failure comes from quitting. When you keep showing up, even when your feelings don't cooperate, you strengthen a part of yourself that cannot be easily shaken. You learn that discipline is more reliable than emotion, and commitment more powerful than convenience. Perseverance also shapes your character. It teaches patience in a world that craves instant results. It encourages resilience in moments when life feels heavy. It builds endurance not just in your actions but in your mindset. When you persevere, you learn to lean into challenges rather than avoid them. You stop expecting life to be easy and start expecting yourself to be strong. You begin to recognize that everything valuable, wisdom, success, stability, growth, requires time and effort. And with every step you take, you grow into the kind of person who can handle more, withstand more, and accomplish more. There will be seasons when perseverance feels lonely, times when people around you don't understand why you keep pushing forward, times when your efforts go unnoticed, times when you question whether the struggle is worth it. But perseverance isn't about who is watching. It is about who you are becoming. It is the quiet victory you earn internally, the kind that builds confidence, self-respect, and inner strength. When you keep going despite the silence, you learn that your determination does not depend on applause. Perseverance teaches you that obstacles are not signs to retreat, but invitations to rise. Each challenge strengthens you. Each difficulty sharpens you. Each setback gives you something that success cannot: experience, wisdom, and depth. You begin to see that what stands in your way is not there to stop you, but to prepare you. The struggle you face today is shaping the strength you will need tomorrow. And when you look back, you realize that the toughest moments were the ones that forged you into someone capable of more than you imagined. Perseverance also builds trust in yourself. Every time you persist despite weariness, you prove to your own heart that you are stronger than your doubts. Every time you take another step, you reinforce the belief that you can handle the journey. Confidence does not come from ease. It comes from endurance. The more you persevere, the more you learn to silence the voice that says you can't and amplify the voice that says try again. You discover that you are not defined by the moments when you feel weak, but by the moments when you keep going anyway. And as perseverance becomes part of who you are, it influences every area of your life. It affects how you work, how you love, how you lead, how you grow. It becomes the force that pushes you through uncertainty, the strength that helps you rise after falling, and the determination that turns long-term dreams into lived reality. You begin to understand that greatness is not achieved in sudden bursts, but in steady, unwavering effort. And in that steady effort, you rise slowly, quietly, faithfully into the fullness of your potential. Purpose is the inner compass that gives meaning to your days and direction to your efforts. It is the quiet but persistent sense that your life has significance, that what you do matters, and that you are meant to contribute something only you can give. Purpose is not always discovered in a single moment of revelation. Often it unfolds slowly through experiences, struggles, passions, and the whisper of your own convictions. But once you begin to understand it, even in fragments, it changes the way you walk through the world. It brings clarity where there was confusion, determination where there was hesitation, and focus where there was distraction. Living with purpose is not about having every detail figured out. It is not about knowing exactly where you will be years from now. It is about waking each day with intention, choosing to aim your energy, your time, and your talents towards something that aligns with your values. Purpose teaches you to invest in what matters rather than chasing what is temporary. It shifts your focus from seeking approval to pursuing meaning. It gives you a reason to rise in the morning and a strength that carries you through the evening. When you live with purpose, obstacles do not feel as heavy because you know what you are working toward. Challenges become part of the journey rather than excuses to quit. Even when the road is uncertain, purpose steadies you. It gives you the endurance to push through frustration, the courage to face change, and the resilience to stand firm when life tests you. Without purpose, difficulties feel like walls. With purpose, difficulties become steps. They may slow you down, but they no longer stop you. Purpose also shapes your relationships. It influences the people you choose to walk beside, the conversations you invest in, and the impact you leave behind. When you live with intention, you begin to surround yourself with those who encourage growth rather than complacency. You choose connections that align with your values, and you learn to distance yourself from things that pull you away from your path. Purpose teaches you to love more deeply, listen more intentionally, and give more generously, because you understand that life is not just about what you achieve, but about how you contribute to the world around you. There will be seasons when your purpose feels distant or unclear, times when you question whether you are on the right path, times when your efforts feel unseen or your direction uncertain, but purpose does not disappear just because you cannot feel it. It remains within you, waiting to be rediscovered through reflection, courage, and honesty. Sometimes purpose is found in your passions, sometimes in your pain, and sometimes in the quiet realization that your story, with all its twists and struggles, has equipped you to help someone else in a way no one else can. Purpose teaches you to rise above distractions. The world is filled with noise, opinions, pressures, expectations, comparisons. Without purpose, it is easy to drift, to chase what others chase, to lose yourself in what seems urgent but not important. Purpose brings you back to center. It reminds you of what truly matters. It guides your decisions, helping you choose long-term meaning over short-term gratification. It transforms your work into service, your goals into mission, and your dreams into responsibility. And over time, living with purpose becomes more than a choice. It becomes your identity. It shapes your character, your habits, and your outlook on life. You begin to live not for applause, but for impact. Not for comfort, but for contribution. Not for perfection, but for progress. Purpose gives your life depth. It gives your journey direction. It gives your spirit strength. It becomes the steady fire within you, quiet, unwavering, and powerful enough to light the way even in moments of darkness.